Hey, my name is Shadowsense and you're watching Sakura Angels. I apologize if I can't do the voices as well. I think I'm coming down with a cold. So, if I sound like shit, now you know. And so, classes resume. We just got done talking to, what's her name? Is it Yukari? No, it's Sayaka and Hikari. We just got done talking to them on the rooftop to get some explanation as to what the heck is going on around here. After all the initial excitement in the morning, not a lot happens throughout the remaining lessons. Also, apologies if my voice sounds tired. It's because I recorded 2 hours of Papers, Please last night. I'm dead. Not a lot happens throughout the remaining lessons. They drag on at a glacial pace, somehow even more dull than usual. It's also hard to keep my mind focused on anything with Sayaka and Hikari on each side. Sure, there to protect me. I was half expecting a monster to just burst its way through the window and for the whole place to just turn into a battleground. Though, it might have at least made things more lively. I gotta keep my throat lubricated. With one final ring of the bells, school comes to a close, a hazy amber glow taking over the classroom as the sun begins to set. The majority of students begin to filter out of the class to start their clubs or part-time jobs. Not me though, I'm off home. While joining a club is certainly encouraged, thankfully this isn't a place where it's enforced. Meaning I'm free to loaf all I want. It might make me come across as a bit of a slacker in the eyes of the other students, but they're not exactly wrong. Relatable! Wasting no time, I set out of the school and begin to head home. Something that should have been fairly stress-free, but... I mean, I should have expected this, but it's still a bit much. The horizon grows darker with each step I make through the quiet streets, a pale moon slowly making its presence known in the sky. Boom. 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 My heavy steps resound down a narrow road quickly swallowed into the night. Okay, so it's more like... But there's also another set of steps, or rather 2 sets of steps that sound to either side of me. Far lighter steps with far more grace than I could ever hope to achieve. Sir, can I please change this? Display... Maybe it's different on window? I don't know. I'm good. Look. I know you're here to protect me, but do you really need to be so, close? Yes. Those steps belong to none other than my self-professed guardian angels. Who could have guessed? Sayaka to my left and Hikari to my right, they practically walk in unison with me, their shoulders inches away from mine. Oh man, I want to get some shoulder action, you know what I mean? Don't be stupid. Walking home alone at night would be the perfect time for the enemy to strike. This is where we have to stay on our guard on our guard the most. Yikes. She doesn't have to yell so loud right into my ear like that. I think I might just be a little bit deafer from spending time with her today alone. Do you think I like having to be this close to you, Baka-chan-san? You should be grateful I'm doing this at all. Another humph and a turn of her head, her vibrant hair swaying gently. Right. Sorry. Aw, don't be like that, Hikari. Don't think I don't catch you sneaking glances at his face while he's looking elsewhere. As she walks, Sayaka leans across me to smirk at Hikari. This is getting really awkward, guys. Oh, I'm getting texted. You saw... I was just checking the enemy hadn't landed a stealth attack on him. Sure, whatever you say. My left ear is rocked by a mischievous giggle as Sayaka breaks into hysterics, all the while Hikari's face begins to turn an interesting shade of red. Is that what you call it? Anyway, you're the one who keeps pressing your shoulder up against him. What are you even trying to do? Huh? she was doing that? Now that she mentions it, the left side did feel cozier for a time. I was just trying to keep him warm. See, I care for his well-being. I wouldn't want him to catch a cold, much like I, Matt, am right now. And he's not complaining, so he must like it. Without warning, she lashes onto my arm, pulling herself in and almost sending me toppling to the ground. Oh, I bet you would have liked that, huh, Kenta? See? Hey, now this is... What are you doing? You're going to tear his arm off. You have to do it more gently, like this. Oh, they're playing tug-of-war. Over me. Eh? Hikari lashes onto my other arm, hooking it with hers in an attempt to tug me away from Sayaka. What the heck did this turn into? You fucking brain dead? Girls, you really don't need to... No. That isn't how you do it at all, Hikari. It's more like... Okay, this is good news. I got very good news from a friend. But I'll deal with it later. Sayaka pulls back on my arm, and soon they both have a firm grip of each of my arms, determination across their faces, as I become some sort of human rope. Just ate pizza, and it gave me the burps. I need to plug in my fucking camera again. Every time I want to record anything, my camera's like, what's battery life? Go. Stupid camera. What is this, tug-of-war? They're going to rip me apart. Would you not like that? Oh, whatever. Ha! Please. This is how it's done. Do they even remember what they're trying to do? What started innocently enough is now spurred into some sort of contest between them. They really are competent. Ow! Now's not the time to think about stuff like that. Can you please get off of me? Raising my voice more than I've ever done in a while, I explode, my body at stake here. And like that, they both let go of my arms at once, leaving me free to ensure that they're both still fully intact. Glad they listened to reason. I really thought I was going to die there. I hate Kenta. He's worse than the protagonist in Sakura's Spirit. Ugh. Apparently it's not the monsters I have to worry about anymore, it's these two. Girls? Stop with that. They have names. At least I had thought it had been my desperate cry that had gotten through to them, but they seemed completely transfixed by something up above. What are they looking at? I squint my eyes and gaze high above the rooftops. And then, as the clouds part and the pale moonlight shines down, I see her. Oh, shit. Nice. The girl sits on the ledge at the highest point of one of the tallest buildings in the area. Oh, the classic anime protagonist move. Antagonist. Silvery hair that seems to glimmer in the moonlight and an outfit as dark as the night sky. She gives off an awe-inspiring look, almost angelic. But she's got horns. Like she's some sort of angel gazing down from the heavens. Angelic, almost like an angel? Yeah, no shit. Who wrote this? At least I would call her an angel if it wasn't for that unsettling grin that just now spread across her face at the sight of us. Ah, there you are. She murmurs something to herself that I can't make out at all from the distance between us. Whatever it was she said, it was enough to make her shoulders shake with laughter. I can't help but feel like I've seen her somewhere before. I wonder why that is. Yeah, wasn't she in your classroom in her human disguise? I think. Last episode? Yeah? Maybe? I don't know. No matter how hard I try to think back, I can't recall her face at all, though. And a burst of feathers, obsidian wings unfurl from behind her. Ooh, that's a good sentence. Now, those definitely aren't holy. I've got a bad feeling about this. Amber eyes peer down at the three of us, narrowed in determination as the same unsettling grin remains. It might just be my imagination, but I think she's looking at me specifically. I can almost feel her stare. It's enough to send a chill down my spine and sparks a faint pulse at the back of my skull. A friend of yours? I force out a laugh, though I know the truth. The air's growing tense, like that time with the monster before, and the looks on both Hikari's and Sayaka's faces can only suggest something bad is about to go down. Ha! Afraid not. Kenta, get back! I don't like this at all. But, okay. I do as I'm told and retreat back a good distance, not really wanting to argue when they look as scary as they do. So what do you think we're dealing with here? She seems far too human to be a shadow. But then I get the same feeling of dread from her presence. Ah, gotcha. I think. Wait, so is she a monster or not? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If you would stop yelling in my ear for 1 second and let me concentrate. I'm not yelling! Sheesh. Right. I forgot. That's your default volume. Well then, just be quiet and let me think things over. You're so cruel sometimes, Hikari. The silver-haired girl, still high atop the roof, gives me one last look before turning her gaze to the girls. And then she jumps. What? Why did she jump? I can barely watch. She has wings, you idiot. She plummets downwards towards where my guardians are stood, no hint of even beginning to slow down. That's a bad sentence. Are those wings just for show? Faster and faster she descends before finally the pavement closes in. I don't want to watch, but somehow I get the feeling she wouldn't have jumped without a good reason. At least I hope she didn't. That wasn't even a dialogue. That was, if you see a manga, you put a bubble there with just like that exclamation point. Goddamn pizza. Mere inches from smashing into the ground, her wings spread wide as if brakes before bringing her to a sudden stop. As if brakes. Aha! This is hurting my head. Not even a gradual halt. She just comes to a complete grinding halt as if the laws of gravity don't apply to her. Even with wings, something like that shouldn't be possible. I mean, if a pigeon were to attempt something like that, they'd barely be recognizable on the pavement right now. In fact, her feet aren't even touching the ground. She hovers above ever so slightly before stepping onto the solid surface, as if stepping off an invisible platform. Part of me is relieved that she isn't hurt from that little stunt, but then part of me is also terrified as to what might happen next. The silver-haired girl stands before Hikari and Sayaka. Her expression is still as unsettling as ever. Despite the smile, though, there's nothing in her posture that would suggest she has any bad intentions, yet the other two girls are tense. My head rings just trying to focus on her like that monster from before. Is she related to them? I clutch a hand to my head and try to steady myself. It's taking a lot of my willpower to just keep upright at the moment. Good evening, girls. She greets them so casually despite the intense glares directed her way. Somehow. Get the feeling that she didn't leap off a freaking roof just to exchange pleasantries. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Who are you and what do you want? My, you're a hostile bunch, aren't you? She lets out a devious giggle, doing little to ease the tension in the air. Very well. You may call me Yuzuki. As for what I'm after, well... Her eyes flit from the girls and settle straight onto me, her smile enough to send a chill down my spine. I'll be taking the boy if you don't mind. See, he's very important to me. I knew it! Of course she would be linked to this whole mess. Why wouldn't she be? Today is the day where everything apparently wants me dead. Sayaka and Hikari refuse to comply. I mean, of course they wouldn't. They wouldn't be very good guardian angels if they had just stepped aside for this maniacal girl. No? I suppose we have to do things the hard way, The pair stand tall before me, their fists tightened. I think there's only one way this is going to end up. The air around them seems to crackle, the amount of power contained within them all immense. I'm afraid to even take in a breath in case I set something off. This is dangerous. Even I can see that. I blink and... Battle Gear! Can't headbang with these headphones on. Yuzuki lunges for them in a flash with the scythe seemingly torn out of the air from the air itself. Ah! Sparks fly from the collision of metal against metal. Hikari was just barely able to react in time, changing her outfit in a flash and blocking the blow with her sword. If she had been any slower there, they might not have had their heads still. I knew it! You're just a puppet for her! She speaks through gritted teeth, pushing with all her might to try and keep the scythe at bay as it draws ever closer. Seems like a fight she might lose though, as the silver-haired girl presses on without even so much as a bead of sweat on her brow. Sayaka! Feel free to help anytime! Huh? Oh, right! Losing ground quite rapidly, her feet begin to slide back from the force. Hikari barks at her partner who had just about recovered from the shock of the strike. They really are in trouble here, and all I can do is stand gawking. I know for sure if I go anywhere near them, I'll be torn apart. This is a fight on a completely different level than me. There's another blinding flash as Sayaka transforms herself, wielding the same bow I'd seen her use this morning. She dashes back a little from the clashing girls and preps her bow, pulling back on the string. I was about to wonder just where the arrow was, but one seems to just blink into reality, already fully knocked onto the bow. She lets the magical arrow fly, her target obvious. Caught up in the clash, Yuzuki has no choice but to pull away from Hikari. She kicks back gracefully, the arrow just inches away from grazing her cheek. About time! Hikari heaves a sigh of relief as she eases her shoulders, finally able to rest, if only for a moment. The fight is clearly far from over. The girls regroup and ready themselves, their mysterious opponent now going over them with her unsettlingly cold eyes. Be careful, Sayaka. She's strong. I was just barely able to hold her back there. Sayaka nods, a look of determination painting her face that I wasn't even aware she was capable of. Taking a moment to analyze the situation, the dark girl closes in again for a second round. Huh, is this all you've got? This is going to be far easier than I imagined. Ah, this is so much fun. And here I thought this boy's little guardians might have actually been a threat. Silly me. Shut up! This isn't over yet. She twirls her scythe with ease and swipes at the pair with the same maniacal expression. Each strike is either just barely dodged by the girls or just about deflected by Hikari's desperate counterattacks. This is a completely one-sided fight, if that wasn't already clear from the moment the girl had made her first move. You don't need to explain that it's a one-sided fight like that. Of course it is. Just from context clues, of course it's a one-sided fight. Whoever wrote this... Oh, take some grammar classes. Or take writing classes, please. She's able to take both of them on with no problem, blocking whatever attack Hikari might have been able to muster in her position, and chasing after Sayaka whenever she attempts to make some distance between them from her bow. For her bow. Fine, let's see if you can dodge at this speed. Whoa. They're moving so fast my eyes can hardly keep up with it at all, the action eventually just turning into colorful blurs as the fight drags on, battle cries, and the clash of steel filling the air. It's like a fight in Dragonball Z. The street around them is becoming completely wrecked. Lampposts are split in two, parked cars are being sent flying, and even chunks of the road itself are being chipped away every time they collide together. Without warning, the intense speed grinds to a halt. Sayaka is suddenly sent tumbling onto the ground, Hikari shortly following as the silver-haired girl stands triumphant, not a single scratch upon her. Oh. Oh. Why is everything shiny? Why has everything got a shiny on it? Even her shoulder, like what? Is everything? It's nighttime. Her butt shouldn't be shiny, her boobies shouldn't be shiny, neither should hers. It's nighttime. Wah! Oof. They end up tangled in a heap together, both of them fairly dazed. Also a gratuitous panty shot. Thankfully they don't seem too hurt, but they certainly each have their fair share of bruises. Are you guys alright? Unable to keep myself from cowering any longer, I call out to them, taking a step towards the carnage. This is carnage? I froze up completely as the silver-haired girl's hollow eyes flutter onto me. Her gaze is frightening. Paralyzing. She came here for me. Just like that monster did before. Do I have a sign on my back that says kill me or something? What are you doing, you idiot? Stay away! We're fine! Hikari rouses me to my senses with her harsh cry. It's a bit hard to believe she's fine when she's completely tangled up with her partner, though. They're both flailing helplessly in an effort to get up. Is this my leg or your leg? I can't tell. Ow! Well, don't hit it. That doesn't solve anything. Oh, so it was your leg. Okay, I get it. So why are you still hitting it? Just get off of me. You're so heavy. Heavy? Me? Yes, you. If you weren't such a glutton, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. It's not my fault I like to eat. I think you're just jealous I can eat tons and get away with it. I've seen what happens when you pig out Hikari. It's like you triple in size. Excuse me? You're lucky I can't reach my sword right now, or I would... Ow. Did you just bite me? You can't prove anything. You're such a savage. This is a complete disaster. With my supposed guardians still trying to sort themselves out, I'm left helpless as Yuzuki advances towards me. She takes slow, deliberate steps, almost as if she was enjoying the look of sheer terror across my face. Now that they're out of the way, let's have a little fun, shall we? Don't. My heart is going to rip out of my chest at this rate. I should run, but I can't. Why can't I run? My body isn't listening to anything I tell it at all. The distance between us is almost gone. Is she going to kill me? Why me? What did I ever do to deserve this? I mean, as far as I know, I've lived a normal, peaceful life. The closer she gets, the more vivid my headache becomes. The air around me is heavy, suffocating. Even the simple act of taking in a breath is becoming too much for me in this state. Her amber eyes narrow. She tightens her grip on her scythe. What? Why are you... Oh, it's nothing personal. This is just the way things have to be if I ever want to get my life back on track. Now, say goodnight. She lashes at me like lightning, a clear intent to kill. I can't even lift my arms to try and defend myself. It's over. Right before the wicked blade comes into contact with me, a bright bolt of what I can only assume is magic whizzes in from the side and catches the girl off guard, knocking her off balance and prolonging my life for just a little while longer. Looking back over at what was once a disaster zone, it appears that Hikari and Sayaka are finally back on their feet. Sayaka raises her hands outstretched, plumes of smoke rising from the tips of her fingers. I guess I owe her one here. That was too close. I think it's time for a little tactical retreat, wouldn't you agree? Eh? Are we really just going to run? I can still fight. Oh, shush. You can barely stand. Come on. While our opponent is still reeling from the attack, my saviors take this opportunity to dash toward me, each of them hooking an arm around me as their weapons shatter into crystals and begin reforming into familiar wings upon their backs. Wait, what are you guys doing? Hold on tight, okay? Before I could protest any further, they both kick off the ground and we begin to ascend. Up. Into the air. We're flying. We're actually flying. What? Hey, no, put me down. Couldn't we just run? Quit thrashing about or we're gonna drop you, you idiot. I will do no such thing. This is insane. I think I'm gonna puke. Hey, don't you dare, I'll make you wish you were still back down there with that freak of a girl. We continue to trail through the sky, bursting through the clouds as if it were nothing. The wind roaring past me, the glimmering city lights below, the turbulence from being carried by the pair. It's also nauseating. I really don't know if I can stand much more of this. Do you think we lost her? Slowing to a gentle hover, they can keep me firmly in their grip, I hope at least. They throw a glance over their shoulders, only just now being able to catch a breath. I can't read. I think so. I can't believe we had to flee. Hey, we didn't flee, okay? It was a tactical retreat. Ugh. Call it whatever you want, but we were lucky to keep our heads intact back then. Silence takes over the pair as they fall into thought. So, huh? Kenta? Oh, I'd almost forgotten about you, sorry. That's a bit worrying. Considering you're the only thing keeping me from falling to a painful and gruesome death. You're not hurt, are you? No, I'm fine. Just, can you maybe, oh, I don't know. Put me down now? Right. I think it's safe now. Down we go. We begin to descend from out of the clouds, and it isn't long before my feet finally come into contact with the ground again. The safe, wonderful ground. I have to restrain myself from wanting to kiss it. I collapse onto my knees, my stomach heaving. Never again. Flying just isn't for me. You okay there? Sayaka gives me a solid pat on the back, which does little in the way of helping my stomach. Don't... I can barely get my words out after such a traumatic experience. I take in a deep breath and try again. Don't ever do that again. At least without asking if it's okay first. It was an emergency, you wimp. Hikari takes her turn to pat me on the back. Though it's more of a thump than anything, like a punch. Enough. Do you think I enjoyed having to hold on to you for that long? Okay, I get it. Just... no more patting. Sayaka circles around and bends forward to look at me, concern across her face. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen someone's face go so green before. Not a big fan of flying, I guess. Whatever gave you that idea? I take a moment before finally straightening myself up. Okay, I'm good now. While I was recovering, it looks like Sayaka and Hikari were keeping guard, watching deep into the night for any signs of life. But it looks like they weren't bothered enough to pursue. Weird. Okay, so I know all I've pretty much done is ask you guys questions since we've met, but if you're wondering what that creepy girl is, I honestly have no idea. Are you sure? She looks like one of you. You know, with the magical outfit, the wings. Whoops. Might have said the wrong thing here. They both turn to me, fire in their eyes. Even Sayaka, who I thought was pretty easygoing, seems angry at me here. Did you just compare us to that thing? I didn't mean to. There's a world of difference between us and whatever the heck she was. For one, did you not see her eyes? She's completely insane. There wasn't a hint of sanity left. Hikari wraps her arms around herself to fight off a shiver. Just thinking about her creeps me out. I guess looking at it from your perspective, Kenta, she might seem the same as us, with her general look and how her magic seems to work. But everything about her is twisted. The dark shades, the black wings, even those horns. It's like they set out to become the complete opposite of what we are. Nothing about her power seems natural either. And your power is... Of course! We worked hard to get where we were today, you know. It's not like we were just born like this. With her, though, it's like it was just... She falls silent, deep in thought. And I really don't get any of this. All I know is that apparently those monsters aren't the only thing I have to fear now. Apparently done thinking, Sayaka snaps back into reality and grins. I think we've had enough excitement for one day anyway. How about we get you home now? She reaches out to take a hold of my arm, but I'm one step ahead and jump back. I can already tell what she had in mind. No more flying. We'll walk, okay? Walk. Ah, if you're sure. It's much safer in the skies, though. Like hell it is. I was lucky I didn't have a heart attack when they were dragging me through the clouds like that. Completely shattered after all the events of today, we started to journey back home. Alright, well, I'm gonna save that there. Boop. And we'll continue in the next episode. So thank you guys very much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.